Welcome back, Barça fans. Today we dive into one of the biggest news days of the season. UEFA has officially given Barcelona the green light to host Champions League football at the new Spotify Camp Nou, ending more than 3 years of exile away from home. Plus, we have exclusive updates on Marc Bernal, who reveals Hansi Flick's special advice after his Catalonia debut, and the latest election buzz as Victor Font promises Messi will be his first phone call if he becomes president. And that's not all. Ahead of the huge clash with Chelsea, the Blues receive bad news, while Barça get major injury boosts. Stay tuned because today's update is packed with massive stories you don't want to miss. UEFA gives Barcelona the green light to host the Champions League at Spotify Camp Nou. The positive news surrounding the Spotify Camp Nou keeps getting better for Barcelona. According to a fresh report from Mundo Deportivo, UEFA has officially approved the club's request to host their upcoming Champions League meeting with Eintracht Frankfurt on Tuesday, December 9th, at the Camp Nou instead of the Estadio Olympic. With this confirmation, Barcelona can now say with certainty that their exile at Montjuic is completely over. The match will be historic in its own way. It marks the first Champions League fixture played at the Camp Nou in 1,140 days, as the last one was the painful 0-3 defeat to Bayern Munich in October 2022. Supporters have waited a long time to experience a European night in their own stadium again, and the upcoming fixture now carries an added emotional weight. Everything in right place. Notably, one obstacle had remained, Article 25.08 of the Champions League regulations, which states that clubs cannot change stadiums during the group stage. Barcelona appealed to UEFA by emphasizing the spirit of the rule. They argued that the intention was not to gain a competitive advantage through a larger venue but simply to return to their actual home after being forced away due to renovation work. UEFA eventually accepted the explanation and granted permission. This decision did not happen overnight. The diplomacy behind the scenes began months ago. The strong relationship between Barcelona president Joan Laporta and UEFA chief Alexander Ceferin had already resulted in approval for Barça to begin the 2025-26 Champions League campaign away from home. The week has been very positive. The picture changed after Monday, when Barcelona received the first occupancy license from the city council under Phase 1B of the project. This license authorized the reopening of the lateral stand, which will welcome fans this Saturday against Athletic Club. With that step completed, Camp Nou is considered ready to host European football again. UEFA required 2 operational guarantees: a live audience for the televised match and a properly allocated away section representing 5% of the total capacity. After reviewing Barcelona's submitted documents, UEFA gave their approval. Now, inspectors will still be present at the venue on November 29th, for the match against the Alaves to observe the stadium in action and verify all practical details. Barcelona midfielder reveals Hansi Flick's advice after NT debut. He told me to. Barcelona midfielder Marc Bernal experienced a memorable milestone yesterday as he started for Catalonia in their charity match victory over Palestine. The evening held a special meaning for many involved, but for the 18-year-old rising talent, it marked a particularly emotional chapter in his young career. Lining up in midfield and wearing the number 6 shirt, Bernal played 45 minutes, something that was known before the match. The atmosphere at Montjuic was vibrant, with over 30,000 spectators in attendance. Among them was Barcelona manager Hansi Flick, who made sure to be present to support his young midfielder. Advice from Hansi Flick. After the match, Bernal shared the advice Flick had given him before stepping onto the pitch. He offered context by explaining that Flick had been keeping an eye on his rhythm over the past week. Yes, he told me to make the most of today's match. We also played a match on Thursday mainly so that I could feel better, get into rhythm, and that's what I did, making the most of it, Bernal explained. The night carried even deeper meaning for him when reflecting on what it felt like to debut for the Catalan senior team. It was really special. I've been lucky enough to play for the under-12s and under-16s, and now to play for the senior team today, after so many years and the way we've done it, I'm really proud. Lastly, Bernal went on to address Barcelona's looming return to Camp Nou, a moment eagerly awaited by the squad and the supporters. Offering context about the team's mood, he said the feeling within the squad is overwhelmingly positive. It's news that I think is a source of pride. Today, there is a feeling among all of us that we are going to make the most of it and have some great nights there, he noted. Victor Font reveals the first call he will make if he wins the Barcelona presidential elections. FC Barcelona is focusing on its sporting goals, but behind the scenes, a major event is approaching, the presidential election scheduled for next year. Victor Font is one of the candidates challenging the current president, Joan Laporta. Recently, Font unveiled his project called Nosaltres Barça, an event that attracted notable figures like Xavi Hernandez, marking one of Xavi's first public appearances related to the club since his departure as manager. In an interview with Mundo Deportivo, Font addressed various topics and revealed that if he were to win the election, the very first person he would contact is Lionel Messi. When asked if he envisions a possible final stint for Messi at the club, Font shared his thoughts, showing the significance of Messi's legacy to Barcelona's future. Personally, as a Barça fan, it would give me goosebumps. But it depends on him and we must not use him. Laporta has done that many times, most notably during the elections, another unfulfilled promise. Messi must not be used, but he must know that the first phone call I make after winning the elections will be to him. One of the major reasons Joan Laporta emerged as a favorite in 2021 to win the elections was his revelation that he could convince Lionel Messi to stay at the club at a time when Messi had asked to leave. However, despite the Argentinian's willingness to remain at the club, Laporta decided that it was not in the club's best interest to offer him a new contract. This remains one of the sour points of his tenure as Barcelona president. While Victor Font is not necessarily promising anything, the ship has sailed on a potential return for Messi in Blaugrana colors, at least in a playing capacity. Let us hope the presidents do not use him as a chip in their campaigns. Chelsea received bad news ahead of matchup against Barcelona. Chelsea are off to a decent start this season despite the minor hiccups along the way. They sit in third position, having won 4 of their last 5 matchups in the Premier League and are 6 points off the top. Meanwhile, the Blues have made a return to the Champions League as well in this campaign, following a 2-year absence from the competition, and will look to make the most of it. Chelsea will face Barcelona at Stamford Bridge soon after club football resumes, and the fans will certainly hope to be on the winning side. Both clubs have a bit of a history between them. Barcelona are a tough side to beat on any day, and the Blues will have to be at their best to achieve that. Chelsea's biggest worry will be the unavailability of key players. On the other hand, it looks like Barcelona have been handed a fitness boost ahead of their trip to London. Earlier, there were rumors that the Blues might be handed an advantage going into the game as Pedri, who is one of the most important players for Hansi Flick's side, could be unavailable for the matchup due to injury. However, it seems that won't be the case if recent reports are to be believed. Chelsea received bad news ahead of matchup against Barcelona. Journalist Xavi Campos, via Chelsea News, has recently confirmed that Pedri will be available to play against Chelsea, although it doesn't sound like he will be starting the game, and in all likelihood will come off the bench. Nevertheless, Chelsea will have to be on their toes, and Enzo Maresca will have to set his tactics accordingly to keep the Spanish midfielder quiet if he makes an appearance. He is one of the best on the planet in his position. Anyway, Chelsea know a thing or two when it comes to injuries to key players. Levi Colwill was sidelined at the start of the season with an ACL injury and is not expected to return to action anytime soon. Additionally, Cole Palmer has also been suffering from a groin issue that has caused him to miss a significant number of matches so far. That said, the England international will reportedly be fit to take on Barcelona, which is welcome news. Meanwhile, most of the Chelsea players are currently away playing for their national teams. Estevao has particularly impressed with his performances among others. He will certainly be one to watch when the club returns to action on the weekend, against Burnley, after which they host Barcelona in midweek. What a day of news for Barcelona. The Champions League is officially returning to Camp Nou, young talents like Marc Bernal are stepping up with confidence, and the presidential race is already heating up with Messi's name back in the spotlight. And with Pedri fit to face Chelsea, Barça head into London stronger than expected. As the new era at Camp Nou begins, one thing is clear: Barcelona are ready to shine again on the biggest stage. If you enjoyed the update, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss the latest breaking news from the world of Barça. VISCA Barça.